Hong Kong Direct is your weekly racing wrap with news, views, previews, special guests and interviews. Coming up on the show today, our special interview is with Ricky Yu, who's flying towards the top of the trainers' title race at the moment. Pressure Ship there with Vincent Ho in the Sadler will run this weekend. Big chance there as well. Be looking at that race. Plus, is there a new Derby contender? Butterfield threw his hat into the ring on the weekends. We'll look at all of that, plus more on the show today. Very warm welcome. I'm Andrew Lejeune. I'm pleased to say I'm joined in the studio by our former analyst in Paul Lally. And Paul, you were with us about 6 weeks ago, start of January, I suppose, to look at the Derby. What's happened, if anything, as far as that's concerned now? Well,
there's a few that have dropped out, definitely. There's a few that have come in. We talked about possible contenders. Decrypt, I think he's gone now. He's one. Reliable Team on the fringe, I think he's gone. I think also Private Secretaries failed. And Super Wealthy, we thought was a possibility. He doesn't look like he's going for it either. So there's a few changes there. Now, horses that have come into Reckoning, Enjoying's run a good race. Beauty Legacy's come out and won. And also the other one with Butterfield, he ran nicely and won as well. So there's a couple come in, but there's a few dropped out as well. Yeah, More Than This and Golden 60 still at the top of the tree, I think, as far as that's concerned. Both of them trained by Francis Loy, who's our new leader of the trainers' title race at the moment, with a treble at Happy Valley on Wednesday night, overtaking Ricky Yu, who we're going to hear from in a second. Ricky, though, has had a great season so far. And a great career here in Hong Kong as well. Oh, fantastic career. He's done very well. And, you know, I was here, lucky enough, when Sacred Kingdom was at his peak. So, really, he was just a fantastic horse. And Ricky's really giving it a great shake this season. I wouldn't be surprised to see him win the premiership. I know it's neck and neck at the moment, but, geez, going well. He is, yeah. He's had some big names in Sacred Kingdom, Fairy King Prawn and Amber Sky, as well as some of the names that he'll touch on now as he chats with Ed Sadler, looking back on his career so far.
Well, Ricky, it's fantastic to catch up with you. The stable's in great form. Let's look at your career in racing overall, though. Back in the 70s, yes, you were a jockey. What was your career as a rider like?
Average, because I think the body weight, I'm quite heavy those days. Okay. It's hard to get rides. And the competition among the apprentices is very strong. We had a lot of apprentices those days. So, yeah, I did ride for horse in racing for 6 years.
How many winners did you ride?
Oh, about 12.
Okay.
But I quit in 1980.
So between 1980, you finished riding, you get your trainer's license in 1995. Yeah. When did you decide that you wanted to become a trainer?
As soon as I quit as a jockey, I want to be a trainer one day. Yeah.
And how did you learn? Who taught you the ropes of becoming a horse trainer?
Oh, well, I was attached to an English trainer called Gordon Smythe. He's the one that mostly I learned my training from.
You get your license in 1995. It's not long before you have your first star horse, Fairy King Prawn. What was he like to train?
Oh, in the beginning, he's very immature. He came in Hong Kong before he turns 4, and I gave him his first run there, and 4 or 5 months after I've turned 4, and somewhere around December, the end of the year, he won straight away. But I knew he always had a good horse.
He won the first ever Hong Kong sprint down the straight here with Stephen King riding.
Yes.
That must have been a big thrill for you.
Yes, my biggest winner that year, and there's an international event.
Now Fairy King Prawn coming with Crystal Charm. Fairy King Prawn for Stephen King coming through. Crystal Charm goes with it, but it's a local 1-2. Fairy King Prawn beats Crystal Charm. Big Jag rocketed home.
With him, he was here for the first part of his career, the first half of his career with you. He then went over to be trained by Ivan Avon. Why did he leave your stable, Ricky?
Oh, as far as I remember, that maybe there was a saying that I don't have experience in bringing horses overseas for these features races. But then trainer Ivan Allen, he had a lot of experience bringing horses overseas. So I guess could be one of the main reasons.
Must have been very difficult to see a horse of that quality walk out of your stable.
Yes, well, then from then on, I keep talking to myself, we're going to find another one like him, you know?
Okay, well, you did manage to do that. The horse he's probably best known for training is Sacred Kingdom.
Yeah.
What a wonderful horse he was, Ricky.
Oh, yes, he's another good one that to train, yes.
As Sacred Kingdom hits the lead. Sacred Kingdom draws clear in the sprint. One World is coming down the outside, but Sacred Kingdom from One World.
I bought him from Yealing Sale, from Melbourne, and I can still remember the first sight of him. This is lovely first sight. He's a very athletic individual, and he's full of life, and he looks straight to me. He's a runner, for sure. But I don't know how good he will be. But he definitely, we had a lot of fun with him.
Watching his races, he looked like he put the race away so quickly. That turn of foot was something special.
Like lightly when he accelerates. That's how I put it. And he's a horse that I wake up every morning, I got excited to go to see him. I got excited. It's never been happened to me. It's only him.
You mentioned before you lost Fairy King Prawn because you didn't have experience taking horses overseas. The first time you took a horse overseas, Sacred Kingdom, Singapore, he beat the Singapore champion, Rocket Man. That was a huge performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was I broke some of the Singaporeans' heart on the occasion. And but he's even before we took him anywhere with Sacred Kingdom, I knew he's a good traveller. It's because his temperament is ever so good. Very good temperament, very calm and relaxed horse.
It's a Rocket Man and Sacred Kingdom on the outside. Sacred Kingdom puts his neck in front. Rocket Man's trying to kick, but Sacred Kingdom wins it for Hong Kong.
We spoke about Sacred Kingdom's success overseas in Singapore. Other horses you've had success internationally with. We know how difficult it is to win in Japan, but Ultra Fantasy was able to do that. Was that a surprise, that win?
That was a real surprise. When he won, he was 8. And he did come to Hong Kong as a trial horse in Hong Kong, but looked very, very similar to Sacred Kingdom because they both are from the same sire. And I looked at him, I watched his runs, and then all of a sudden I had a chance to train this horse, and I thought he may be able to do something, but if the owner agree to bring him to Japan because he's a front runner.
A few years later, Amber Sky in Dubai winning the El Quoz Sprint. He was a super fast horse out of the gates, Ricky.
Yes, he's according to jockey Joe Murray said that when he jumps, he's already 3 or 4 lengths in front of the others. So that was his biggest advantage to get in one over a short distance.
Did you have him peaking at that night? Was that the best you ever had, Amber Sky, going into that race?
Yes. Yes, and the jockey rode a beautiful race.
Amber Sky in front of Artug. Shay Shay's got the third. Amber Sky in front of Artug. Shay Shay's coming late, but Amber Sky in front. Chalk one up for Hong Kong. Amber Sky.
So when you look at your career, you've had so many good sprinters. As a trainer, do you feel like you specialise with training these fast type of horses?
You can say that, but all these years I've been buying a Sprinter miler. That's why these things happen to me. But I don't think I'm only good for training sprinters. Maybe if I have a nice stay, I'll still be able to do it well, for him.
There you go. That's Ricky Yu with Ed. We'll hear from Ricky again next week as well, talking about the current season, the current team as well, because he's assisted by his son, Eric, as well. He's his official assistant trainer.
Which is great, isn't it? Because you can see the dynasty coming through, the next generation as such. So, and they're having a great season, as we said, and he's got some really nice horses there, the likes of Pressure Ship and whatnot, really flying the flag for the stable.
Yeah, and he talked on or touched on there the fact that maybe he's specialised with the sprinters to a certain extent. He's got one horse running on the weekend called Voyage Warrior, along with Pressure Ship, who looks like he might be a pretty decent miler. But Voyage Warrior looked like he was going to be an absolute world beater. They've had some problems, but when he wins, he looks like a real class act.
He did, and his last start, he did win, didn't he? So they seem to maybe have ironed out the problems. He's up against a really strong field on Saturday, so this will be a real good acid test for him.
Yeah, and we'll look at that race in part 2, in actual fact. The rest of the sprinters, it's a strong field. He's got big weight on his back as well. But the season couldn't have gone much better so far. 34 winners to date. I say it wasn't for Francis Loy having that treble last night. We'd been perfect. We're going to be talking about him being leading the trainers' premiership. But, you know, two local trainers at the top and dominating really this season in terms of as winners. It's a sort of a, I suppose, change of regard, but it's a different feel about the season.
Yeah, it definitely has, because you normally see John Size, and he has been sort of dominating over the last few years. Francis Loy Francis' best horse probably Lucky Bubbles a few years ago. You see Ricky's had these really great sprinters coming through. He's got these horses like Voyage Warrior, like the Precious Ships coming there, but he's just got so much depth within his stable, and that's where all those wins are coming from.
New horses to come through
yeah,
still as well.
Some really good ones, yeah.
All right, there you go. That's Ricky Yu. Part 2 next week, so looking forward to that as well. Coming up in the second part of the show, though, we're looking forward to the Derby, with Butterfield throwing his hat into the ring, but there's a few beaten horses in that race that might not be done with just yet. Welcome back to Hong Kong Direct with the Derby. Just over a month away, month and a half, end of March for the BMW Derby this year. We continue our look at the top contenders and the races as well, which provide the clues towards hopefully this year's winner. With the top horses engaged rating order here, Paul, with Golden 61, the Classic Mile, beating More Than This, Champions Way and Beauty Legacy. Well, they're actually the 1, 2, 3, 4, not quite in that order, but the cream did rise to the top. Yeah, and if you were framing a market now for the Derby, I know it's still 6 weeks away, you'd probably have those 4 as your main 4 chances in the betting. Look, they've all been running pretty well. They've all done things well. They've got the right rating to win this race. So, yeah, I'm looking around the top there. Of the ones coming through down below, Columbus County, we saw him run the other day, and he ran very well. Super Oasis, Enjoying had no luck. So Butterfield's the one that's just come into the reckoning as well. Yeah, history tells us that you need a triple-figure rating to win a Derby. So there's those 4 horses, but it's not to say it's all over just yet, is it? There's still some time to throw your hat into the ring, as it were. So we can have a look back on Butterfield's last win, which moved him on to a mark of 90, but there's plenty of horses to take note of here. Butterfield came out of barrier 1, Columbus County 2, Super Oasis barrier 5, Savvy 9 from 10, Enjoying was luckless and Amazing Beats from barrier 13, who actually gets across and gets himself in a really good position there. You can see in there in the green jacket. The horse outside him goes on to make the running there, the Classic Beauty, and drags it along through the early stages. But Butterfield, who eventually wins this race from the inside gate, I mean, it's just a dream spot for Grant van der Kerk in the early stages. It's an absolute perfect run. I mean, the horse you couldn't have asked for a better run from barrier 1. You can see the horse came across, he got the perfect trail, and everything was going very well. From Amazing Beats, the one you talked about, the green and yellow, he manages to get in at 1 off as well. So at this stage, everything was going well for him. Enjoying was the horse just in behind him in the pink cap, but he had no luck once we got into the straight. Did Enjoying. Yeah, so Glorious Artist was just in front of Amazing Beats, still is. You can see Amazing Beats now looking for him, and Enjoying, who's slightly obscured there, that red cap behind Savvy 9. There's a fair old coming together here, and it basically rules out Amazing Beats and Enjoying in one go. Yeah, definitely. More Enjoying, I think, because Amazing Beats sort of already had his head through that gap, but Enjoying got absolutely poleaxed. You can see Super Oasis came up here to win the race, but Butterfield fought on really strong with that good run, and down the outside, Columbus County in a really good final sectional. I thought he hit the line well. So Butterfield, I mean, he brought good form from South America. He actually won 3 Grade 1 contests. One he was disqualified in, but he was already won a Grade 1 over a mile and 2,400 metres. He'd won their Derby, so the form was there on the book, and it looks like he's acclimatised quite quickly. Yeah, he has, and he's one that's definitely come into reckoning. You know, the distance isn't going to be a problem. A few of these have got question marks distance-wise, but the 2,000 metres looks ideal for Butterfield. As you mentioned, he's got that turn of foot to win over a mile, but he's also won over 2,400. Was that enough of an excuse to say that Enjoying, I don't want to throw him out of reckoning completely, because it was a really good run the start before, but he's going to have to do something on his next start, wherever that might be. Yeah, well, he's still in the rating in the 80s, isn't he? So he's down there a bit. He's got to do something at this next start. I think that it's going to be one more opportunity for them to really put their hands up going into the Derby. So if he doesn't do anything then obviously that's it for me for him. He did have excuses that time. The start before was good, but he still only ran 3rd. Does it mean, if we're talking about the top tier of horses for the Derby, the Golden 60s and More Than This, I suppose throwing Champions Way and Beauty Legacy as well, the next tier down is actually pretty open. There's still a few horses that could show enough improvement to be serious contenders.
Yeah, that's the race I thought we saw there. I saw these guys as the next tier down, like the Butterfields, your Columbus Counties and your Super Oasis. I think the top tier we saw at Chinese New Year on the Monday, and this one we're seeing the second tier coming through. And saying that, I still like the runner Columbus County. I thought he hit the line strongly. Super Oasis, for me, had every chance and just sort of stayed on. Now, we know you forget overseas form when you come to Hong Kong to a degree. Super Oasis was a better horse form-wise when he was in Australasia before he came here, but I think Columbus County's passed him here in Hong Kong.
Now, it's been confirmed this week as well that Zach Purton will ride More Than This.
Yeah.
Ryan Moore, of course, flew in to ride him last night. It was a good effort behind his stablemate Golden 60. Zach on board. Now, More Than This seems to be getting lazier with each run that goes on. Getting out of the gates very slow. It's very hard work. When he gets going, though, he looks like he's got a decent engine, but that's potentially something you'd have to work on. Yeah,
definitely. You can see him when he's urged along, and if you backed him, you're thinking, oh no, we've done our dough here. Even that time when he was 3 wide at the back, but when he put up that turn of foot to beat Pressure Ship that time, he just keeps going, and he doesn't look like he's going that fast, but the time says something different. He runs some pretty quick sectionals.
But if he's going to be a serious player in the Derby, assuming that Golden 60 sees out 2,000 metres really well, you can't be giving him too many head starts, too much ground, can you?
No, that's the key, and of course that's something Francis Loyal obviously is interesting because he trains both of them, so it's something he'll work on. But for me, if anything, the gap's probably closed a little bit between. I saw More Than This as a standout, and then but Golden 60, he's got the pedigree to get there. It's just whether he's too brilliant or not. But look, the mile wins have been fantastic for him.
Yeah,
really good.
Well, we've got the Classic Cup coming up very shortly. That's the next major stepping stone towards the Derby. When you were here last time, you gave us 3 for the Derby, your top 3. So what's changed since then?
Nothing. Nothing. I still reckon the same 3. I mean, look, More Than This has done nothing to me. If anything, he's enhanced.
So at least this is in order as well.
Yeah, that is. And Golden 60. If anything, that gap is closed and the Columbus County is lengthened. I see these as the clear 2, More Than This and Golden 60. I think Francis Lloyd's got an absolute stranglehold with those 2 horses. And then Columbus County in a clear 3rd. I mean, Beauty Legacy hung a little bit, and I didn't really like that last time. Prior to that, he did win very nicely. Enjoying Jury's still out because he's had those sort of problems in running. And then Super Oasis, I thought, had his chance. So happy with those 3.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to disagree with you too much. I've still got half an eye on Amazing Beats. I thought it was really nice to see him get a clear run last time out. But he's got another opportunity, I'm sure, to try and stamp his Derby possibilities as well. So as far as the Derby is concerned, coming up in the next few weeks, we've got a Saturday meeting coming up this weekend and some good races as well. We'll touch on it in a moment. Back to Happy Valley on Wednesday night, and then a Group 1 double header, the Queen's Silver Jubilee Cup and the City Hong Kong Gold Cup next weekend. Then after that will be the Classic Cup, and on the same card there's a Class 2, so that's over the 1,800 metres. There's a Class 2 contest handicap over 2,000 metres. So any of these 4-year-olds that don't want to run against More Than This and Golden 60 have a chance, in theory, to run in that Class 2 over the Derby course and distance. And
that's your last chance saloon for them. And something will come out of that, there's no doubt whatsoever. So I think that it's really...
Would you do that with Butterfield? Would you go 2,000 metres then and skip the Classic Cup?
I would. I mean, there's 2 schools of thought. He's rated 90, so he's going to get in. So whether they want to test him against those real good ones, or whether they want to give him a softer one into the Cup that way, maybe just get his rating up 2 or 3 points, which I think is going to be irrelevant at the time. So there is a school of thought that could go either way. Columbus County, those 80 rated horses, I wouldn't be surprised they went for the 2,000. A, to test them over the distance, and B, just to boost their ratings, just to guarantee a start.
Yeah, all right, interesting stuff. That's a couple of weeks away, the Classic Cup and that Class 2 contest as well. We should touch on these good races on the weekend very quickly, Paul. Race number 7 is a Class 2 over the 1,600 metres. Good lineup as well. Fast, Most Furious, Flying Thunder, and Ricky Hughes' Pressure Ship, who can't seem to put a foot wrong then.
And he's drawn 1, so I think Pressure Ship really is the one to beat for me in that one. The other 2 horses, I thought the Thunder horse, Flying Thunder, he really caught the eye at his last start. He's had a couple of issues, but came back really strongly.
Yeah, and Rickfield probably deserves a quick mention as well. He's been racing great hard as well. And then race number 9, really good sprint. We've got Voyage Warrior, Duke Y, Beauty Applause and Computer Patch again. Duke Y, I should say, was just brilliant last time.
No, I've been with him all season. I really like the horse. I think he's just really shown me a horse that fights, gets into trouble and can still win. He's going to have to be up there, though. He's got barrier number 9, so it's going to be a little bit tricky for him, but I still think he can come through.
What about Voyage Warrior, though? Chad Schofield jump on board. Good ride for Chad. Coming back from suspension as well. He's tried 1,200 metres before. It didn't really go all that well. He gets barrier 1 this time, so he shouldn't have too many excuses, really, should he? Oh,
I think that's the key. He's going to have every favour.
He has got top weight, mind you.
Yeah, he's got to carry the weight at 133 and give weight away to some of these horses like Computer Patch, who's very progressive, and your Duke Wise. So that's the little query. But look, the way he ran last start, you know, we've seen him come bounce right back. So, you know, he's definitely going to be there for me.
Yeah, Drew Clear, beat Cue the Music. He was over 2-1 as well. Voyage Warrior. It'd be nice to turn back time there, but we will see. It's a really good race. Race number 9, 1,200 metre Class 2 on the weekend. That's just about it, though. Thanks again, Paul, for coming in. We'll follow those 3 horses with great interest, and thank you for watching as well. We're going to leave you this week with it's been a Ricky You-themed show with Sacred Kingdom, the first of his 2 Hong Kong sprints back in 2007. This one under Gerard Mosse.
International sprint. The crowd gives them a tremendous roar. Away they go. Green Birdie's taken straight back to last. And deep out, Miss Andretti's ridden for speed. So is YB. Sunny Singh, Ben Bourne near the inside, and Royal Delight's going for. There's plenty of speed. And Shane Dye takes Royal Delight to the front of the first corner. YB circling the field, going to second. Sunny Singh third, Ben Bourne fourth, and Miss Andretti's right with them with Desert Lord. Absolute Champion parks off the speed. Then Scintillation, Sacred Kingdom. He's got horses on his outside. Sunny Power and Teaser improving. Then Marchand Doran, Green Birdie is last, racing to the bend. It's Royal Delight in front from Ben Bourne. Desert Lord's out 3 wide. Miss Andretti's 4 wide, and 5 wide is YB. Sunny Singh behind them. Sacred Kingdom's giving away 4 lengths. It's Royal Delight in front. Absolute Champions coming hard. Now Sacred Kingdom's into the clear. Miss Andretti can't go with them. Sacred Kingdom charges up on the outside. He hits the lead from Royal Delight. Absolute Champion staying on doggedly, but Sacred Kingdom, he is world class. Sacred Kingdom's roaring away to beat Absolute Champion.